So when you put these motor mounts in, this part right here goes to the outside. This goes out. So you'll be able to see this once you got it in, if you put it in the right way. If you put it in this way, with this out, it's pretty difficult to get that hole lined up. So make sure you put this in to the outside on both of them. See? Right there. Yep. Got them in. And this is why I had to change mine. That one was pretty wore out. And the reason, let me show you what was going on up under here. You see right there, there is the exhaust and the motor mount, the motor cross member support. When I would start the van and turn it off, that exhaust pipe would hit, and so it would be like clunk, 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 clunk. Every time I turned it off or started it up, it would hit. And so I found out that's what the problem was, and so I replaced the motor mounts. So today we're doing motor mounts on 86 Volkswagen Vanagon. These are the motor mounts that I'm putting in, and there's you can't really see it, but they're down there. Okay, one of them is right in that area. See that bolt right there? That's the bolt for the motor mount. And then the other one is right there. You can't see it, but it's right there. And then there's one right there. You really can't see that one. And then there's the other bolt down at the bottom. I'll show you as I get a little bit closer to getting them out, how they go. Okay, so that's the bolt for one of the motor mounts right here. Oh, right there. See the motor mount? And then this is the other one. There. So there and there are the motor mounts. And then they go up from there, and there's 4 of them. There's 2 on this side too, same spot. Bam and bam. So we gotta do all 4 of these motor mounts. And I also have to fix a coolant leak that I have up there on, let's see if I can, that line right there, there's a leak on that line right there that I have to fix. So this is a really tight area to work in. I think I'm gonna end up dropping this muffler. I think I'm gonna take the muffler off, take this heat shield off, and make it a little bit easier on myself to get this done. Hopefully it makes it easier. Doesn't really look like it, but we'll see as we get into it. Okay, so on the muffler, we got 4 bolts. There's 1, 2, and then there's 2 on that bracket over there. There's 2 brackets, and that holds the muffler up. And then we got the flange here. We got to unbolt that flange there, those 3. And then disconnect the oxygen sensor there. And that should get the exhaust off. As long as it fits past this to come down, we should be fine. After I get those, I'll let you know. Okay, so after you get the O2 sensor unhooked, you get the 3 bolts on the flange up there unhooked, you get these 2 brackets unbolted, the 4 bolts up there, then you loosen these 2, and that will allow these brackets to rotate. It'll allow them to rotate, so then you can drop the exhaust down. If you don't loosen up these and you just keep it like it is, you're gonna have a heck of a time getting it out. But you loosen up these bolts on these straps and it'll allow it to rotate and it'll just come right out. So with that exhaust out the way, it allows me to be able to access those two bolts I already got out. Then there's a bolt there, and then there's a few bolts along there, and that will allow me, oh, and those two over there, and that'll allow me to get this heat shield. Oh, there's some right here too. That'll allow me to get this heat shield out the way, and then I'll be able to get easier access to this coolant line and the motor mounts. Couple extra steps, but I think it's going to save me a lot of time, a lot of headache, just by removing this, and then I could address other issues if I see any. Okay, so we got the bolts out of the motor mounts from the bottom, all four of them, and the top. And now it's time to jack up the engine and get these motor mounts out. So now I'm gonna go get the jack up the engine, and pull these motor mounts, put the new ones in. And that thing didn't want to come out because I didn't take the exhaust off. If I took that exhaust pipe off, I would have been able to get this heat shield out. But I didn't want to take that off because I just did these heads, and I didn't want to have to go and buy new exhaust manifold gaskets for that again. So yeah, I'm trying to save money wherever I can. Yep. So I got them in, and it's a little tricky, but I got it. Getting ready to put the bolts in for the motor mounts. I'm going to start with these in the middle, and then I'll work my way to the outside. Don't tighten up anything until you get everything in position, because otherwise you might end up having to loosen something up and moving it. But I think I got these right. I didn't really pay good attention to how they was before I took them out, but it looks like I might have. I'll see in a minute. Okay, so these ones down here at the bottom, I ended up taking the water pump pulley off to give me a little better access down here. And I used a 13 millimeter with the swivel and extension to get to that one down there. And I think I used the just the ratchet on this one. I might have used an extension also. And then this side, see, you want to keep those inside ones a little bit loose so you can get it down to line up the hole on the bolt. And what I did is I put the bolts through on these first. So I put the motor mount on, and jacked up the engine, put the motor mount in place, and then put the nuts on, all four of these down here. And then I let the engine down. It wanted to twist a little bit, but this engine is light enough to where I was able to get down there and use my knees on one side and my hands on the other side and twist it back to the position that I needed it in and let it down after I took the jack out. And now I'm just tightening everything back up and putting it back together.